Hey guys, it's Matt from Gamersphere, and we're here with the HIPSHOTDOT from Airdrop Gaming, and what you see here is it is a USB-powered red dot sight attachment, which sounds kind of weird, it may look kind of weird, but really, if you play Call of Duty, Battlefield, Destiny, anything like that, this is going to help you aim, or so the company says. I have yet to try it out because I haven't even opened it yet. So we're going to unbox it, take a look at what's in the package, and we'll go from there. So yeah, the HIPSHOTDOT is essentially, from what I understand, a little red dot sight that attaches via USB, and come on, there we go. And essentially it'll just plug into your TV, or plug into your wall outlet, your PlayStation, Xbox, whatever you've got, and it looks like it connects to your TV. You can see here, very tiny little red dot. I don't know if the camera wants to zoom in. There it is. You can see there's a little red dot there, and apparently, when you plug this USB in, the dot will light up. And it allows you to no-scope, hip shot, things like that, so you don't have to take the extra time to aim your gun, because you've got this little red dot on your TV. Which, if you're playing competitively online, is really going to help you out, assuming it, does what it says, which you'll see in the video review as we continue. You'll see whether or not that proves to be true. But, let's take a look here. Just how long it is, because that's obviously part of the issue. Part of the question is, first of all, how long is this bad boy? Well, it looks like it's going to stretch plenty of distance on your TV. Very long cable. Looks to be about 10 feet long. Yeah, 72-inch, so you don't have to worry about that. But secondly, take a look at this difference here. If you can see, it's thick for support, then it thins out at the end as you move towards the hip shot, so that you don't have to worry about this getting in the way of your viewing on TV. You don't want a black cable or even the suction cups to be visible, really. Otherwise, it'll make things a little bit weird. So hopefully, this thinner cable will help to eliminate that. As I said, you'll see in the remainder of the video how this stacks up, how it helps if it does help. And yeah, so that's the unboxing video for the, once again, HIPSHOTDOT. And we'll be back in just a moment with the rest of it. See you guys later.
Hey guys, we're back, and we've just finished up testing with the HIPSHOTDOT, and we've got some pretty good stats, but first I want to go over just the performance of it as far as how I liked it. Um, the device itself is not bad. It has a couple of little issues that, can't really be avoided. For example, the suction cups. You literally have to, you have to physically push them onto your screen. Um, I'm not fond of putting pressure on my screen and my TV. I could see it bend a little bit and then pop back to place. When I did that, wasn't a huge fan of that, but it can't really be avoided. You have to put something on the screen. The second thing is, although I was able to block out the visual of the two suction cups and the wire hanging down, I can imagine that some people are going to find that very annoying. Personally, I could block it out. It wasn't a big deal, but keep that in mind if you're someone who's kind of OCD about your TV screen. So there's that. But now let's jump into how the device performs, if and how it helps with aiming. I played, as you can see, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and I ran a few tests to see how the device helps. So here's what I found. When using that MP7, I did 3 tests. The first one was a control test. I just played how I usually would with the MP7. I went 30 and 4. I plugged in the HIPSHOTDOT, sorry. And I always aimed down the sights. I tried to see how quickly I would snap to aiming with this, and I went 30 and 5, so I only died 1 extra time as opposed to control. Then I tried HIPSHOTDOT without aiming, using the dot on the screen as my only reference of aim. So everything was hipfire, and I went 30 and 8. So as opposed to the control, I went from 30 and 4 to 30 and 8. That's double the deaths, which shows me that if your gun is not accurate, which the MP7 is not unless you're right in front of them, if you're not accurate, the HIPSHOTDOT can't do anything for you. It's good for a reference point, but you're still going to need to aim. So I moved on to the MAA1. It's a 4-shot burst at mid-range, and all 3 of the tests, I did the same 3 tests, whether I was using the HIPSHOTDOT, aiming down sights, whether I was hip firing, whether my control matched, they all went 30 and 9. So that's pretty good. That shows me that no matter how I play, the HIPSHOTDOT will allow me to play at the same rate, with or without And that's just, I just plugged it in. I hadn't practiced with it. I just threw it up there and said, hey, let's use this to aim instead of how I usually do, which shows me that if I'm in a pinch, I can easily use this hip shot dot to line up a shot. I mean, granted, yes, I will want to aim when I can, but this gives me a lot of versatility in what I can and cannot do, and it allows me to do more. And if I can work that into the gameplay, I can imagine that that's a very useful tool. But finally, as you can see here, I used the DSR. The first video that you just watched was without the hip shot dot. That was just a standard match, and I went to 15 kills, and you notice I died a pretty fair amount of times. But as you'll see with this video, this is the one where I used the HIPSHOT dot to try to quick scope, and I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I could feel the difference. I felt like I was scoping faster, I was more accurate on most of my shots at least, and I ended up, as you'll be able to see, ending up with fewer deaths. Like, look at that. That was great. Uh, but I ended up with fewer deaths while still being able to take more risks. As you can, you'll be able to see, I took a lot of extra risks, missed a lot of extra shots that I shouldn't have, but that was because I was trying to test the limits of what the hip shot dot could and could not do. But I did find that my accuracy, when I actually tried to play at the same level with and without the dot, it improved. My accuracy was better, it was faster, I was able to snap to aim because I was able to have a reference point of where I was supposed to aim. I mean, if you see on the screen, there are 4 tiny little ticks that show you, hey, this is the general center of the screen. But by placing the dot right in the middle, I was able to line up a shot way before I even aimed down the sights. And that is invaluable. And this is coming from someone who does not quick scope. So I can imagine that from someone who does, I can only imagine how fearlessly awesome it would make you. So at the end of the day, I give HIPSHOTDOT a 7.5 out of 10. It does its job magnificently. Um, the only issues I did have with it were, you know, I don't like pushing against my screen, and the contraption itself can be irritating if you let it. Um, but I mean, there's really not a whole lot you can do about that. The the dot does what it's supposed to do, and if you play Call of Duty, Battlefield, Destiny, this sort of thing is going to help you out. Um, but it does depend on how you play. If you're sniping, go for it. If you're hip shotting with an MP7, maybe not so much. Just figure out how to make it work for you. Figure out how to work it into the way you play. And I have a feeling that you're going to enjoy this HipShot dot. Check the description below for where you can purchase it. This is Matt from Gamersphere signing off. See you guys later.